Hey, Chris Mack here. Okay, we're going to continue the conversation. I did a story, impromptu, a reaction basically, and it was only 30 seconds. And I touched on the topic of retirement, promotion in small business. So when we're talking about retirement, when we're talking about promotion, the annoyance comes from outsiders who have nothing to do with small business, don't understand small business. What do they always call them? Like keyboard warriors? They call them something like, but the people who, the Yelpers of the world, who love to jump on and critique and criticize something that they themselves have never done. And so we do say this in the small business community all the time. I think it's fair. We will have thousands and thousands and thousands, literally, of wonderful customers, wonderful clients. And yet it's the one that just like ruins your day. It's the one that is burned on your brain, and you remember the date, you remember first and last name, like you remember everything so clearly, and it just hurts your heart so much. And yet you have wonderful, supportive, incredible clients that they deserve your time and energy. That one doesn't. So that's part of why certain comments, certain things, I listen a lot. I listen and I take notes of things. And usually what happens is when I'm going about my day and a comment, something, I hear something, I think, how could I apply this? How could this help? I got to think on this one because there's something here that could help one of my students. There's something here that could, again, what do I preach? Protect your business, prevention, processes. It's a lot of P's. We will have these days where we hear something, we get upset, we get insulted, we get discouraged. And I know how that feels. So that's where I'm like, okay, how can we prevent this from happening? So I often put myself in that position, a preventative position. And that's where a lot of my teachings come from. How can I protect your business? How can we prevent these things from happening in your business? So when it comes to considering, actually I should flip it, promotion and then of course retirement, people don't understand on the outside, okay? When I say people, they don't understand what that looks like for you. And what you decide for your business is going to be what's right for your business. I'm just saying, let's talk about it. Let's decide something. Have a plan. I discuss this early on with my students because when you're at the point of structuring your business, choosing a name for your business, I did a whole tutorial on this back in 2019. Choosing a name for your business. If you're thinking, you know what? This business could be franchised. Your name's going to be important. If you're thinking, you know what? I really love this. I want to see it realized. I think it's a great idea, but I don't want to be like chained to a brick and mortar for 25 years. Like I want to package it, put a bow on it, make it pretty, make it work, and then I like to sell it. Well, you're going to be careful how you name it then. Like I'm not going to call it Chris Mack's Studio if my plan is to sell it, right? I'm going to these are all things. This is why the planning stage, see another P, the planning stage is so important to take the time. I don't care if it's on a cocktail napkin. People have so many opinions about business plans. I'm like, I don't care what you do. Just think before you get involved. Financial stress. There's so much that's involved in running a small business. It gets you have ups and downs. Let's just say there's a roller coaster. I go through this every time I'm talking with one of my students. There's something great that happened and something bad that happened. It is a roller coaster. The highs are awesome, but the lows are really bad. And it's not to discourage you from starting your small business or continuing with your small business. It's just a reality check. So there's lots of ups and downs. So planning for these things, talking with a mentor, talking with someone who's been through it. Why? Like they always say, why reinvent the wheel? Don't be arrogant and so proud to think that you're so unique. Like there's nothing new under the sun. Someone's done what you're thinking. You might have your own take on it. You might have a twist. Very few small businesses, especially brick and mortar, are like innovative, brand new, never heard of before. Very few. There's the Steve Jobs of the world, and how many are there? Like really, if you want to, go through and itemize it compared to how many small businesses there are. Do yourself a favor, listen. So let's get back to planning. So you're planning your business. Why not ask yourself while you're structuring things, while you're meeting with your accountant, and it's like you're not being billed constantly at that point. Like, it's not like another phone call or another question. You're in that. It's kind of built in. Like, they know what it takes to set up a small business. They account for, there's going to be they account for, like, there's going to be questions, there's going to be things involved at this time. They allot the time to help you. Same as your lawyer when you're structuring your business. Many are incorporating right away. So let's say you're setting up shares, you're setting up things because you have a plan of how you see your business. Those are the times to say, okay, like, you have other clients in my industry. Or like, we hope they do. And when you're hiring someone, you should have, someone who's experienced with people in your industry. What do they do? What have you seen clients do, like, when they want to start a family? Because as a small business owner, we don't have mat leave. We don't have someone to go to. We are the person to go to. We don't have someone to go to and say, hey, I need you to do this for me. Like, we are the HR, again, mom and pop shop. What do people do? When kids are going to school or, like, vacations, let's say part of my plan is to have a home down south. Part of my plan is to, own a villa in Mexico. This is my dream. Why not talk about it early on and say, what does a business need to get to set this up? What are things I should be doing? Ask those questions. Okay, retirement. What should I be doing? Because this is where I see me in this business. I see me doing this for 10 years, or I see me doing this for 25 years. What should I be doing to get ready for that point of retirement? And what does retirement look? This is me asking you now. What does retirement look like for you? Some people don't ever want to quit working, but they do want to change maybe how work looks for them. So that might be kind of like promotion/retirement. You know what? I don't want to be in my store anymore, but I want to just be able to, like, go in and check on it. I want to be able to, go in when it's close time, and I want to be able to, and they kind of this romantic vision of what it means to run a shop. This is how I want my business to be at this time. I don't want to, when the arthritis starts, and I don't want to be, behind the counter anymore making the bread, or I don't want to be behind the chair cutting the hair. This is where I want to be. Those are things to ask, to talk about. Also, your network, your small business network. Those are things to have those conversations, make those plans, set those goals. Your accountant is going to make recommendations for you. Likely, you're going to be referred to a financial planner, and you're going to be talking about things like insurances, and you're going to be talking about things like taking insurances out on your employees, then setting them up. You're going to be talking about things like investments. One thing that I'm very passionate about, do you own where you have your business? Because that could be part of your retirement plan. Well, if you are someone who says, okay, well, I want to be involved in these things in the community. I want to travel. So many people, like, they want to, they want their business from their laptop. There's some people who crave human interaction. Like, you have to know what your business is, and who you are as a business owner, and make sure that how you're setting things up is in line with that. So when it comes to retirement, this is where my story came from, because the thing that makes me cringe is hearing other people's opinions of how you have decided your business is going to be for you. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to be chained to their business, and that's how you feel, I hate to say that, that's how I feel. So it comes naturally. Say chained to your business. If you're someone who doesn't want to feel chained to your business, and yes, you could say, like, let's put an asterisk there. Oh, I have staff. I have this. I have that. Great. And I hope you have staff that you can trust for 3 weeks or 2 months or wherever it is that you have planned. Like, what if you don't want to be in the country half the year? Then what? How is your business running? Let's be real. Can you really step away from your business that long? And if you have had a business for a while and you have stepped away for a period of time, you're telling me you didn't have any consequences for doing that? Most face consequences, major consequences. So, like, it's, again, talk with small businesses, talk with small business owners, understand, like, here's an idea, there's a theory, but in practice, does this work? And then if it does work a certain way, it's like, well, what did you do? How did you set it up? How do you manage that? Tell me, like, would you share that with me? But the part, again, back to what makes me cringe, is that people who have no skin in the game, who've never done this, share opinions about how a business is doing financially, what a business if they're successful or if they're not successful. Well, what's success to you? Well, this is a real example. Let's say you have a big location, but you decide that where you are in your life stage, that you want to be less responsible. You want less responsibility. And you review your numbers and you say, you know what? These areas in the business aren't really bringing in the revenues that we need. If we streamline and we double down on these services, or we double down on these products, or both, maybe you have both, we double down on these, we'd actually make more money and we need less space. That means we could move and we could get a smaller location, have less responsibility, less overhead. And if my numbers are correct, we're actually making more money. Would you not say wow, what a smart move? Wouldn't you say that? Okay. Do you know what your average person walking by says? Oh, I wonder what happened. They moved. Wonder what happened. Oh, negative. It's usually negative. Very few. It's like, oh, good for them. They moved. Very seldom. And then what happens when people find out it's a smaller location? Oh, smaller. Because bigger is always better, right? Bigger is not always better. Being smart and streamlining is better. If bigger means more and you're able to do more and you're able to staff more and it actually makes sense, your business, what works for you, what works for your family, what works for your employees, you're going to have your own unique story. But just because someone does something different, it doesn't mean it's a failure. It could actually be way better and better for them and better for the people who work for them. What if a business closes? This happened to a deli in a mall that I worked. The business had been there for years. People loved the business and it closed. And people were like, oh, that business, I love that. It's really too bad. I wonder what happened. Oh, they closed. Oh. Even though I knew the family personally and enough. I knew them not very, very well, but I knew them enough to know what actually had happened. And it's totally normal what happened. That's the thing. And to even say what happened, nothing happened. They lived and breathed in their store. They were one of these places that was 7 days a week they're in this mall. And they worked in their store day in and day out. And that was their life. They were very modest, very lovely family. Didn't ask for a lot, smart, put money away. But they were this is my opinion. This may not be their opinion. Maybe they loved every day. But I would say, wow, they're chained to that deli. They're chained to it. So here they are, and they do, their own review of their business, and they decide when can they retire. Now, what happens with the small business is usually, especially people who get into something that they love, they give it a name. They name it maybe something that's about their family, or they do something because it's a passion project. It's something that they're, it's a part of them. It's their baby. So they name it. If you're wanting to retire and your options are maybe, you haven't franchised, you haven't gone that far. So what are your options? Well, we could sell the business, everything, name, all your intellectual property, could sell everything. Or if no one, which rarely happens for brick and mortar, again, mom and pop shops, if someone doesn't want to buy that name, they have their own family background, they have their own culture, they have their own everything. They want to bring what they offer to that space, then your name dies. Not because it's bad, not because the name wasn't good, it's just because the people who are now going to take over that spot aren't interested in actually buying your business. What they're interested in buying are your fridges, your stoves, your shelves. Maybe you have inventory that they were like, yeah, we can totally use that. Your chairs, your tables, because you have a sitting area in your little deli. So you're now, basically, you have a garage sale and you're selling off the pieces of your business, okay? That's what often happens. People try to sell their business. I see them all the time on realtor apps, trying to sell a business. It's how are you actually quantifying that? You have a price on your business and that they're not actual, there are the realtors that know, very few, to actually know how to value a business. They don't. They don't know how to value a business. What ends up happening is the businesses get sold off for inventory, for machinery, equipment. That's what happens. Like I just said, how many stoves do you have? How many shelves do you have? Let's put a price on those. It's a garage sale at the end of the day. Someone really, really, really has to love like everything that you do and want to walk into it turnkey and take over exactly what you do and not be interested in bringing anything unique of themselves to the table. Seldom happens when it comes to small business brick and mortar locations. Anyway, seldom. I'm not saying it doesn't. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't. It's not the norm. It's the exception. So you have this business that they closed because they were retiring. That was their retirement plan. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to sell off our pieces of our business, and a new deli is going to come in. It's going to be a new name. Nothing bad happened in I'm not saying normal, but like it is more common that people are employees. So in the employee world, you have a party and you celebrate their retirement, and it's so great. No one goes, oh, they left their job, eh? Oh, no one does it. That's my point. It's like, it's the tone towards small business. I just like, to me, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. Like, it's not negative. So what happened for me, and I mean, it takes time to learn this too. I had been around small business owners for most of my like teens, like 13 to present day. So I understood, like I grew up watching small business owners. I grew up with entrepreneurs around me, understanding how, things work, what it's like behind the scenes. So when you have a small business and something changes, it doesn't mean that it's negative. And that's what I was touching on with my story. It doesn't mean that it's negative, but generally people assume that it was. And when you are in the banking world, which I was for more than like different seasons of my life, I've been in banking. I've been in some type of job that was financial, in the financial world, financial industry. You get to see these things. You get to see what the real numbers are. And it's like, oh, you have this little dive and they're doing incredible. And you're like, that's so weird. It's so like, I guess it's doing really well. It's not really fancy. Amazing numbers. Then you see this like gorgeous marble from floor to ceiling, and they are struggling and they're super high in debt. So with that said, business bankers, they've seen enough financial statements. They know there are the dives that are dives because they're a dive and they're not doing well. And then there's dives that are doing absolutely incredible and they wouldn't change a thing. Then there's the businesses that are marble from, floor to ceiling, and they are in huge debt and they're maybe being subsidized by some other type of business, or they're incredible and they're an amazing business. And maybe they are planning to have multiple locations. Like, the point is what you see, what customers see, what clients see. They're looking at the business. They're not looking into the business. They don't really know. But as the small business owner, we can be affected by the things that we hear them say or things that they write online about us, right? So that's why I'm here. My content isn't for them. My content's for you. My content's for the small business. My teachings, my tutorials, my time, my mentorship meetings, my webinars, all of that is for the small business owner, the mom and pop shop owner. And this is what I have come to after like thinking about this, retirement promotion, giving advice to talk to your accountant, talk to your lawyer, talk to a financial planner, think about these things, make it part of your plan. The one thing that I would love for more small business owners to do is to put themselves in the position as if they were an employee, a person looking for a job. And a person who looks for a job usually does what? They usually go online and they look up the jobs that are available. They look at the job descriptions. They look up things like, what is it? Where is the location? Where is it? Is it easy for me to get to? What's driving like there every day? Or how would I get there? Do I commute? They look at things like, what are the hours? Days of the week. Do I have any flexibility? Is it hybrid? Can I work some days from home? They consider things like room for promotion. Can I grow in this company? What other types of jobs would be available within this company? They look at benefits, health benefits. They look at RSP contributions. They look at benefits like mat leave. What if I needed mat leave? What do they offer? Vacation weeks. How many weeks vacation do I get with this job? Like, there's so many things that a person who's an employee who's looking for a job, that they consider and that they're looking for, and they believe that they're worth it. Like, they make themselves a priority and they look at a job with, what is this job going to do for me? That is very typical employee mentality. But as small businesses, we often let our business work us rather than having our business work for us. So to take that perspective and just be like, okay, what if this was something I was applying for? You know, as a small business owner, you are the best employee you're ever going to have. People who are business owners or people who are invested, people who have skin in the game, they are the best employees. They literally give their blood, sweat, and tears. Why are you not asking your business these things for you? Where's my next promotion? What does life look like for me here? What does retirement look like for me? And the summary of all of this is, you're never going to change the people who pass by who just don't know. If they haven't been a business owner, they just don't know. And unfortunately, there's so many of them, and they're the first ones to talk, and they're the first ones to write, and yet they really have no idea. So it's just like, again, coming together. We have to be with our like-minded people. We have to be in our networks. We need to support each other. And I will keep listening. I keep listening to what customers have to say, what clients have to say, what employees have to say. I keep listening and building my content based off real life experiences, real life conversations. And I just keep putting it together and sharing it with you, sharing any knowledge, any experience I have, trying to just make your day, your business a little bit, hopefully, better for you. Not better, because you've got that, but better for you. I firmly believe having a small business is awesome. And I think that these communities are beautiful. I think your favorite street to walk down, ask anybody, don't have to be business owners, your favorite street to walk down when you go on vacation, you get a coffee and you walk, it's Main Street. We love Main Street. These little shops, it really is what builds a community. And I want us to have happy and sustainable communities. And the way a small business is sustainable is that they are here. We have to think of sustainability as the holistic of what that means. It's not just about, recycling. It's about being here together, being happy, and being sustainable. That's my goal. And that's my motivation for what I do and why I do it. So that's it for me. I've said enough. See you next time. Ciao for now.